Hey guys, this is Jim and welcome to ObsAoA. ObsAoA is a new add-on mod for Advent of Ascension. And now if you haven't seen Advent of Ascension, it adds 30 dimensions, 30 odd dimensions, hundreds of new mobs, bosses, weapons, all sorts of goodies. So ObsAoA is a little mod just to add a few bits and pieces which will hopefully improve your Advent of Ascension adventure. So to use ObsAoA, you're going to need Advent of Ascension installed, obviously, and you'll also need ObsCore. Now the links for all of those are down below. If you've already got a copy of ObsCore, if you use ObsTrophies for example, you will need to get a new copy of ObsCore. Okay, so let's take a look at what the mod adds. Achievements. Okay, now Advent of Ascension by itself doesn't actually add any achievements, but now with ObsAoA you have achievements for every Advent of Ascension weapon. So as you can see now, there's no particular order, just as soon as you pick up a weapon you'll get the achievement, and the main purpose of this is so you can keep track of which weapons you've got. Now Advent of Ascension adds lots and lots and lots of weapons, as you can see, and I've broken them down into their categories or their type of weapon, and each one has their own page of achievements. So all you have to do is just go bloop and then pick it up, and there you'll get the achievement, and so that will then be marked off on your list of achievements. If we find where the archer guns are somewhere, look at all those weapons, guys. Whoo-wee. Okay, taken, skeletal archer gun. So yeah, now you can keep track of which weapons you've got and which ones you don't. So the achievements are dynamic, so that means that whenever Advent of Ascension updates and add new weapons, they'll automatically appear in their right page here without having to update ObsAoA. So less work for me and less work for you. Records. Now this was a suggestion from Advent on the ObsTrophies forum to add records for the boss music for Advent of Ascension. So whenever you fight a boss, most bosses have a background song that plays that Advent of Ascension adds. Well, now whenever you fight the boss and you defeat him, the boss will drop a record and you can play the music that was playing in the background, and you can just stick on whichever one you like and so yes, any boss that does have music will drop the record. It's a guaranteed drop. You don't have to use any particular kind of weapon or anything, but as soon as the boss dies they'll drop the record, and then you can stick it in a jukebox and be able to listen to the sounds. There's some nice music that's played sometimes with some of these bosses, so now you can play them whenever you like. And thank you to Advent for the suggestion. Forge Multipart. So by default Advent of Ascension doesn't add Forge Multipart integration. So for ObsAoA I've now added it in that it'll dynamically look for all Advent of Ascension blocks and create them, register them as multiparts. So you can then just use all the Advent of Ascension stuff for multiparts, and hopefully that will then help you make some more fancier builds. Maybe something better than that. Or dictionary registrations. So you've probably noticed with Advent of Ascension, if you've played it before, you can't actually use things like Advent of Ascension's planks to make sticks and things, but you can now because I've registered all of Advent of Ascension's planks and logs and leaves with Forge, so that you can now actually use them to make chests and all the other wood recipes and things that involve wood. So it's another little handy add-on that hopefully will improve your game experience. New blocks. So ObsAoA adds some new blocks into the game. Now down the bottom row here we have some of the common stone from various Advent of Ascension dimensions. So these are the blocks added by Advent of Ascension. So now you can put these into a furnace, smelt them up and get a smooth version. So ObsAoA adds the smooth versions, and you can make a brick version of the smooth versions. So this just gives you a few more options when building your Advent of Ascension bases around the place. So you can use these smoother versions maybe to complement the rougher original textures stone versions. You can also use forge multipart with all ObsAoA blocks as well, so you can do fancy things like that if you like. And here you just see is an example of how you actually smelt up into the smooth version, and then we can craft that just like a vanilla stone brick recipe like that. So more options when building your bases. Go, mate. And that's it for the initial release of ObsAoA. The next release will contain achievements for Advent of Ascension armor. So as you collect the armor, you'll be able to tick them off on your achievements list. That was a suggestion by the Punk King. And if you have any other suggestions for things you might like to see that added to Advent of Ascension, maybe just to improve things a bit, but that doesn't break Advent of Ascension's gameplay, we want to avoid that. But yeah, any suggestions, leave them in the Minecraft forum thread, and enjoy!